On this episode, we are looking at the best Transformers in my collection. And to be honest, this is my only Transformer in my collection, the TMNT crossover Party Wallop. Welcome back, guys, and I am super excited because this product was on my wish list of TMNT products that I really wanted to see in the years to come. Previously, so in the previous year, I actually wished that this would have come out, and I kind of knew it was a possibility since Hasbro's already made TMNT and Power Rangers, so it was only a matter of time before we actually got this Transformers TMNT crossover with the Party Wallop. So super excited. So first, we're going to take a look at some of the artwork on the packaging. Really cool package. I'm loving the TMNT Transformer crossover sign, but looks like there's a lot inside. You have the Transformers logo on top, and the product design for Turtles on top is my favorite because that is also my car visor. So I drive around in my very own party wagon. So cool inlay on the plastic window, the TMNT Transformer crossover, and then you do have a product shot of the actual transformed vehicle, and then a cross-sell on the back. And you can turn this into probably 5 different characters, I guess. 4 different turtles, and then I guess the new character, which would be your Party Wallop. 40 years of TMNT on the back, 40 years of Transformers, so that aligns pretty well. And then you can see all of the accessories that come in. So you get a different bandana for each turtle, and of course their corresponding weapons. So now that we've taken a look at this package, let's go ahead and crack it open, check it out. Now, I don't know if you would consider this a Transformer, but these McDonald's toys were the only experience I've ever had with any kind of transforming toy. So this is truly going to be my first experience with any type of Transformer. And first look out of the package, it's really neat. And it does come with an instruction booklet. Thank God, because I definitely would not know how to figure this out on my own. And it's going to be kind of an experience for me. I'm looking at this thing like a Rubik's Cube because this is definitely not my wheelhouse, but all the directions seem pretty cut and dry. The first page is all instructions of how to mount the accessories, and then on the back there's all different instructions on how to actually transform the turtles. So we're going to get into that, but in case you were wondering how the hell do I do this, it comes with instructions, so don't worry about that. Now, I wasn't really sure what to expect from the functionality of this figure as a Transformer, but it's pretty cool. You can see that head pops off, that's where you put the different bandanas. But in terms of articulation, it is way above and beyond what I thought this figure would be able to do. And I guess that makes sense. If you have to transform it, it probably is engineered in a way where it has to bend and move anyway. So that kind of suits well for articulation. And if you're a first-time Transformer buyer like I am, it is a pleasant surprise. So it has everything you need. Articulation at the elbow, the knee, there's a thigh swivel, which I thought was really cool. There is some ankle pivot also, so you can definitely get this figure into some pretty cool poses. And, you know, of course it's mechanical, so it might seem a little clunky, but I'm assuming that comes with the territory. Still, you're going to be able to get this thing into some pretty rad poses. So pretty impressed off the bat with the articulation of this Transformer. Now, I'm assuming most Transformers don't need to be 4 different characters, so a pretty little ingenious idea I think they did was with the belt buckle. So depending on which turtle you want to represent, you can just lift that belt buckle piece, and then there's a dial where you can turn it each way, and then it can represent each 4 of the different turtles, or if you just want to keep it blank, and that would represent the Party Wallop. So pretty cool. And the paint apps aren't too crazy, pretty much just solid plastic throughout the whole thing with a few hits of paint. But let's go ahead and check out some of the accessories. You do get the front of the party wagon, which also doubles as a shield. So you have this hinge peg that can either go on the front of the Party Wallop or can act as a shield and connect to the arm. It does come with a spoiler to complete that look, which also does connect to the back of the turtle. And you do get those 4 different expressions. So Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and my favorite, Donatello. Then you do get this pizza cap, which is the front of the van, and if you flip it over to the other side, it's a pizza. You can have your Transformer hold it, or you can just pop it into place and complete the look of the grill. Then you do get some of the antenna pieces that connect on top, and of course all of the accessories. So Leonardo's swords, Donatello's bow, probably the weakest accessory, so it does collapse, which is pretty cool, but when you do go to kind of open it up, these pieces fall off, so it's not my favorite, but I guess it gets the job done and kind of goes in line with having an accessory that transforms as well. It does need to fold up because that does get stowed away underneath the turtle shell. I'll show you that in a bit. You do get Raphael's size and then some really cool nunchucks for Mikey, and it does have those plastic link chains, which I think is a nice little touch. So cool on the accessory front. Wish Donatello's was a little better. And just messing around further with this thing, you know, you can really do a bunch of fun stuff with it. So if you want to take this grill, like I said before, use it as a shield, or you can use it as a front piece for body armor. So you just got to make sure that that hinges up and then it will plug right in. When you do that, it is going to block the belt buckle that does have the different letters on it, so you won't be able to see those letters underneath that piece. But I think this just looks really cool. And if you wanted to take it off and use it as a shield, you can also do that. Head swapping is pretty easy, so this is done pretty effortlessly. So if you just want to put on a different bandana, you can. So Donatello will be my favorite, so I'll always try him out first. So I think this is pretty awesome. Let's try out some of the accessories as well. Starting with Donnie, since he is my favorite, but I will say his accessory leaves a lot to be desired. It's not really long enough. I feel like it should be at least long enough to fit in both hands. It does need to collapse and fold so you can stow away, so I understand that. I just wish it wasn't so flimsy as far as the pieces coming off, but we can just take that belt buckle, switch it up. So since I have Donnie's head on, I'm just going to switch it over to the D, and that kind of completes the look there. So really loving that, and this is going to be a cool display piece for me. I have a turtle shelf that's just random turtle stuff, doesn't really fit into any display. And this one's going to look great there. So even though his accessory isn't as functional as I'd like it to be, still is pretty cool, and you can get him in some pretty rad poses. So I won't gripe too much about that anymore. And I always love bigger, chunkier figures because it's so easy to stand them up. But just kind of messing around with this Transformer, getting him in some ninja poses, I can get this Transformer into a pretty good standing kick pose without any effort. The tires on the side of the feet really make it easy to balance, so that's awesome. Switch out the bow for some size for Raphael. Then I do love these dangling nunchucks. I think those look really cool. And then the dueling swords for Leonardo. And one of the things I love about G.I. Joe Classified is that all the accessories can fit onto the figure, because kind of the same thing here. All of the heads fit on the bottom of this hood piece, and then the bow does connect here, so you don't have to worry about finding a baggie and losing the accessories because they all connect to the unit, which is pretty cool. And one of the other things is, you know, this is still pretty functional, so you can just close up the latches, hide everything, and then you won't be able to notice that you're actually storing all of these different items within the figure. So pretty cool detail there. So love functional accessories, especially when they connect. Swords on the side, size on the hips, and then the nunchucks underneath that flap. Now I'm going to walk you through the transformation, and I will say, as a first-time Transformer owner, this was not as intuitive. So I made one mistake. I didn't push that head all the way back, so make sure you do that. Once that head's pushed all the way back, then you can put the faceplate or the grill plate on to the chest. So just trying to do this step by step. Move those fin pieces to the front on the left and right side. You want those positioned in a way that when you move the arms back, they're not going to mess up too much. So then you're going to flip the hood forward, and now you're going to move those arms to the back. So there's some hinges there, and you'll see those yellow pieces have a spot where they fit snug. So just make sure that everything's kind of flush, because this part was a little tricky for me. Now the back windshield pieces do connect, and this part was a little tricky, so just make sure everything's aligned. And it was a lot easier once I moved the hinge at the wrist, because it's going to be facing backwards. So once you do that, connect them, they should fit snug. And then there's a peg at the bottom of the roof where it'll just snap into place. So got that in there, and that seems to be good. Everything's even. And now we're gonna snap the hood onto the front, make sure that's connected in. And there's pegs throughout this whole thing, so you'll know if you're doing it right. Moving down to the legs, now you're going to adjust the feet. Move those upward, and then you're going to move the tires out, and then these little kickstands, you're going to put those in to the little slot where the tires were lying. So from there, you're going to flip those up and connect them. And now this piece is ready to connect to that back windshield piece that we worked on before. And again, just make sure all the snaps correspond. So now this part was a little tricky. Just make sure all the flaps are connecting. So you're going to have to snap them in and then lift that piece that's towards the back. Lift that up a little bit, push the middle piece in, and then snap it in to the peg that's corresponding there. So this part of the process is really tricky because you do need to make sure everything's flush. So things do pop up, which means you normally have to go and adjust. So just make sure things are even, all the hinges are straight. This way that nothing's popping up or disconnecting. But you're going to repeat that process on the other side. So just make sure that you're putting these flaps in the correct way. And after a few times of messing with this and transforming it, untransforming it, I finally understood what I was doing wrong, and then was able to complete the look and get myself the party wagon. So, Transformers fans, what do you think? Is this a good Transformer? I have no idea. I have nothing to base it off of, so I'm going to say, yeah, it's pretty cool. It checks the boxes of what I think a Transformer is. It's a cool figure, but then it also has the ability to transform, and I mean, hey, for Turtles fans, this might be your only Transformer that you're purchasing too. I know there's lots of crossover in the fandoms. People collect Transformers and Turtles, but for me, this is kind of my one and only Transformer. So it was a cool experience. I don't know if there's any other Transformers I'd want. I do like the crossover ones. I almost purchased the Ecto one and the Jurassic Park one. I know the new G.I. Joe one is pretty cool, but I'm trying not to go down a rabbit hole. This just happened to be on my wish list, so I knew I'd be purchasing this no matter what. So let me know down in the comments if this holds up. Let me know. Let me know, is this a great Transformer or is this a piece of crap? I don't know. But either way, I had lots of fun with it. It's definitely going to go on the shelf in my turtle display of random turtles. So really happy to finally get this. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and review, folks. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you can. I'd really appreciate it. And until the next episode, we'll catch you next time.